It was just a regular Tuesday morning. I pulled into the community gym parking lot, scanning for a decent spot before the pre-work crowd rolled in. There it was, the golden spot, closest to the entrance, shaded by a big oak tree, perfectly positioned to keep the summer sun from turning my car into an oven. I parked, grabbed my gym bag, and started heading inside. That's when I heard the voice. "Excuse me." I turned to see a woman in her late 50s with perfectly ironed slacks, a pearl necklace, and a clipboard tucked under her arm. She had the kind of look that said she kept a running list of neighbor infractions for fun. "Just so you know," she said, giving me a quick head-to-toe scan, "I always park there. It's my spot." I blinked. "Oh, is it reserved?" "No," she said, smiling tightly, "but I've been parking there for 15 years. Everyone knows it's mine. And as the HOA president, I'd appreciate your respect." I glanced at the empty row of spaces, at least 10 others just like it. "Right, I'll keep that in mind." Then, as if she could read my next thought, she added, "My car's in the shop right now, but I still need the space empty for when it comes back." She was literally reserving air. "Gotcha," I said, walking inside without making any promises. Over the next few days, I parked there again and again. Karen, I learned her name from the gym's front desk, never missed an opportunity to remind me about her sacred square of asphalt. Sometimes she'd be standing right outside the entrance, arms crossed, watching me like a hawk. On the fourth day, she turned up the heat. "You're new here, so let me make it simple," she said, stepping into my path. "That space is mine. Keep parking there and you'll regret it." I raised an eyebrow. Is that a rule or just a threat? Her smile didn't reach her eyes. "Call it advice." I walked past her, amused. "I don't take advice from people who guard parking spots they don't even use." The next week, the golden spot had a new accessory, a laminated sign duct taped to the asphalt that read, "Reserved, HOA president only." I stood there for a second, reading it like it was a bad joke. This wasn't even an official HOA sign. It looked like something printed at home on an inkjet printer that was running out of black ink. I parked there anyway. Karen was waiting for me inside the gym lobby, pretending to chat with the receptionist. Her eyes flicked to the window, saw my car in her spot, and I swear I could hear her jaw tighten. "You didn't see the sign?" she asked as I walked by. "Oh, I saw it," I said, swiping my keycard, "and I saw the public parking rules on the HOA website. Guess which one I'm following?" She stepped closer, lowering her voice. "You think this is funny? That's my spot. You can't just—" "Karen," I cut in, "you don't even have a car right now." Her nostrils flared. "It's coming back next week, and when it does, I expect that space to be open." The rest of the week, the reserved sign kept reappearing, even after the wind or sprinklers took it down. One morning, I found a bright yellow HOA violation slip under my wiper, citing me for disrespecting HOA property. The kicker? The HOA doesn't own individual parking spaces at the gym, which meant Karen was making up rules to get under my skin. Neighbors started talking. A guy on the treadmill next to me whispered, "Careful, man. She's been HOA president for years. Loves her power trips." By Friday, she wasn't even pretending to be subtle. As I left the gym, she stood in front of my car, arms folded, blocking me from leaving. "You're going to regret this," she said, loud enough for two people nearby to hear. "You're making enemies you can't afford to have." I smiled, put my gym bag in the trunk, and said, "See you tomorrow, Karen." If looks could kill, my obituary would have been in the Sunday paper. It was Saturday morning, the parking lot half empty. I slipped into the golden spot like always, enjoying the quiet before the weekend crowd. Karen wasn't anywhere in sight, which was unusual. Lately, she'd been lurking like a parking lot gargoyle. About 40 minutes into my workout, the shrill scream of my car alarm echoed through the gym. Heads turned. My stomach dropped. I bolted outside and froze. Karen was mid-swing with a baseball bat, shattering the last intact window of my car. Glass rained onto the asphalt. She had already keyed a deep, ugly line down the driver's side and spray-painted "Mine" in bright red across the door. "What the hell are you doing?" I shouted. She spun around, cheeks flushed, breathing hard. "You provoked me? You stole my spot for weeks. I told you this would happen." The bat was still in her hand, but her eyes flicked to the gym entrance, where three people stood watching. And above her, mounted to the wall, the gym's CCTV camera pointed directly at us. I didn't have to say anything. I just pulled out my phone and started filming. "Go ahead," she barked, voice cracking. "Show everyone how you've been harassing me." But her hands were shaking now, and the bat clattered to the ground when she realized she'd been caught from every angle. By me, by witnesses, and by the security system she probably forgot existed. The gym manager came rushing out, muttering, "Oh my God," as he saw the damage. "Karen, you need to stop right now." Her response? She tried to walk away like nothing happened. "Don't you dare leave," I called after her. "The police are on their way." She froze. The gym manager confirmed he'd already called them, and one of the witnesses chimed in, "We saw the whole thing." She went straight for his car. Karen's face went pale. For the first time since I met her, she didn't have a comeback. I leaned against the curb, phone still rolling, and said, "Guess that's going to be an expensive parking spot." She didn't answer. She just stared at the ground, trapped. The sound of approaching sirens was the sweetest music I'd heard all year. The police arrived within minutes, and I handed them my phone with the video still rolling, plus pointed to the gym's CCTV camera. The manager confirmed it covered the entire parking lot and would be saved for the investigation. One officer walked over to Karen, who stood stiff as a statue by the curb, arms crossed like she could will this away. "Ma'am, you're under arrest for vandalism and destruction of property," he said, taking the bat as evidence. "This is outrageous," she barked. "He's been harassing me for weeks." The officer raised an eyebrow. "By parking in a public spot?" Karen sputtered, but it was over. She was cuffed, walked past half the gym's Saturday crowd, and stuffed into the back of the cruiser while whispers followed her like perfume. That afternoon, I filed a formal insurance claim. Between the smashed windows, keyed panels, and spray paint, repairs totaled over $6,500. My insurance company didn't waste time. The footage made liability crystal clear. They paid for the repairs, then went after Karen for reimbursement. 2 weeks later, a letter from my lawyer went out demanding she also cover my rental car costs and legal fees. She tried to fight it, but the case was airtight. By the end of the month, she'd cut a check for nearly $8,000. The HOA, they couldn't sweep this one under the rug. A vandalism arrest involving the president on HOA property, no less, made her a liability. In an emergency meeting, the board voted her out. She lost her presidency, her gym access, and the respect of just about everyone in the community. Now she parks 3 streets over, hauling her groceries past the very spot she once guarded like a throne. And me? I still park there every single time I go to the gym. The best part, the first day I drove my freshly repaired car back into that golden spot, she was walking by. I got out slowly, sunglasses on, coffee in hand, and gave her a friendly wave. She looked away, face burning, and kept walking. Some victories smell like flowers. This one smelled like fresh paint, new glass, and justice served ice cold. The end. Please like and subscribe for more HOA showdowns like this. Do you think Karen got what she deserved? Comment below.